Hey, what's up everyone? This is Angelo Ferreira coming out of Kajukenbo Japan. I'm making this series for my students that are testing for their black belts to know all of the techniques. It's really important to know all of your techniques if you're going to get a black belt in Kajukenbo. And particularly our school, our black belts are pretty much just one step away from becoming instructors themselves. At this point, you've been already assisting a lot in class. And it's not uncommon for people to get their black belt and get their instructor certificates later. So I'm going to be encompassing some of the things that are very controversial and will get me a lot of trolls here online. Please remember that I'm showing techniques to be taught to several people in several situations, not just in the cage. I personally, I am an amateur MMA fighter. It's something I do to hone my skills. I also compete in no-gi and gi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But in Kajukenbo, we have a lot of our guys that train law enforcement. They train military. So because of that, we do have weapons self-defense techniques. Are they effective? Maybe. Maybe not. For those of you who are not in law enforcement and not military, I do not recommend engaging someone with weapons. I don't. I really don't. I recommend you run away. If you don't want to get stabbed, someone's attacking you with a knife, run away. But if not, you don't want to end up in that situation and have absolutely nothing in your arsenal. So here are some techniques that may or may not work. One more disclaimer before I start. I'm not a knife specialist. I am not a weapons specialist. I was watching a video the other day with weapons specialists, and even weapons specialists with techniques that they have pressure tested still had, I think the highest was a 60% ratio of success. Something to keep in mind. There's a lot of variables when someone comes at you with a weapon, not just your skill, but the person's skill themselves. A person does not have to have a lot of skill to stab you, so keep that in mind. With that in mind, we're going to be going over a knife technique. Knife technique number one, the guy tries to stab, I get out of the way. Let's go ahead and get a better camera angle here. Let's put you on this side. Guy comes in with the knife, I get out of the way, I strike once. I'm controlling the wrist. It's really important to control the hand with the weapon. I immediately strike and strike all the way down here. From here, let's turn him around so you can get a better angle. Alright. Once I'm here, I put my knee on his body here and I put pressure here and I push down on his elbow so I can rip that knife out of his hand. Once the knife is out, strike, strike. Try not to stab, otherwise, well, I don't know what your situation is, but hopefully, if you are a civilian, you stab someone, that's time. You'll be doing time no matter what, so keep that in mind. Check, check. Knife number two. The person comes in, I come on the inside. I strike, strike. If for some reason I wasn't able to hit the knife out with a strike there, okay, then it doesn't matter, I'm going to come in here, really close here. I want it to be here, towards the wrist, so I really want to control here. That way the knife isn't going to stab me, and I'm here. And I'm going to hold here. So if we go towards the camera, I'm holding here, and I'm putting pressure here. And if it hurts, you go ahead and tap. Right. So I can hyperextend the elbow. From there, my right hand is going to grab the throat here. Once I grab the throat, my right leg is going to come up here and sweep down this way here. Once I'm here, I'm going to drop my knee on him here. And then I'm going to grab the knife and pull it out from the other side here. And it'll be under my armpit. Grab it there. Punch. Check, check. I'll remind you, I don't like knife techniques. That's all I have to say. But they're in the system, there's something to go over. Alright, number three. The person comes in, I get out of the way. Oh, this person, the person comes in, I get out of the way. I drag them forward and back into kind of an Americana from a standing position. Once I'm here, my right leg sweeps under, and I bring them down, and I keep doing the Americana until they let go, or until I rip the knife out from the Americana after I've broken their arm. Slap, hit, hit, punch, punch, check, check. So numbers 4 and 5 are designed against an attacker that's holding a knife like this. If an attacker is holding a knife like this, you are in a lot of trouble because they have done knife training. Keep that in mind. So the person comes in, they're going to throw in the knife, they're going to try to slice, and if they miss the slice, they're going to try to stab after they've tried to slice. So when the person slices, I want to get out of the way. When they come back to stab, I want to jam the weapon here. Straight arm, all the way down, arm drag down. Here, I can drop the knee if I want to get the knife out. Hit, hit, check, check. Finally, number 5. Number 5, the person comes in, I get out of the way, I jam the arm. I come up behind, in the choke. Once I have the choke, I continue to hold that until they've passed out. I am not going to let that go. I'm going to hold on to that. I would prefer to do that standing and not end up on the ground. If we end up on the ground, they can bridge. I do not want to end up in a grappling situation with a guy with a knife, which is why I really don't like number 5. But it's in the system, and that's what it is. So please take all of these techniques with a giant grain of salt. I never said this is the best, but it's something, and something is better than nothing. All right, I'll catch you all later.